think about the things you're most passionate about as it pertains to music, and just figure out ways you can work on your instrument, work on your facility, while also engaging with those things that you love and that make you happy and that made you want to pursue music in the first place. So, what's up, y'all? All right, so I just did my routine. I'm not going to make you guys suffer through that again, but today I want to talk a little bit about practicing, of course, and how we can make it a little bit less insufferable of a thing to do. Because, you know, practicing is boring, especially when you compare it to all the other shit we could be doing, like playing video games, watching TV, scrolling on our phones, whatever else it may be. But there are a couple ways that I found to make my practicing a little bit more enjoyable, and I guess the one we're going to do today is play along to some music that I personally love very much, and what I think makes great background music, video game music. And those of you who know me personally know that I love video game music. I've been obsessed with it for well over a decade now. And conveniently, video game music makes very good play-along tracks because oftentimes, especially with like menu music and other types of music, there's no melody and it's just a groove that you could kind of solo over. So yeah, just gonna pick some of my favorite video game music vamps and kind of shred a little bit for you guys and see how it goes. So let's start. I got one queued up here. Let's see. Kirby and the Crystal Shards. This is a good one. Yeah, this is like, in terms of speed, it's like playing a really, really up-tempo song, like ding, 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 ding. It's actually not that fast, but fingers. One thing that I struggle to realize a lot, and I have to remind myself all the time, is, you know, all these things that we try to be conscious of when we're practicing and doing something like my routine, which I showed you guys yesterday, is, you know, it's so easy when improvising, playing jazz or playing any type of music that we're passionate about, is to kind of throw those things out the window, like all these things, like keeping your diaphragm tight, taking a really big breath, focusing on your fingers. You know, it's so easy because we're using so much of our brain to kind of improvise and play and whatever. So it's great to always remind yourself to just like, of those things, of those fundamental things, especially when you're playing in a musical context, because it's easy to kind of remind yourself when you're doing mundane exercises like long tones and lip slurs, but just remember, it's important to keep all that shit in mind when you're playing music, because, you know, oftentimes in my experience with music and with life, you know, I would keep all those things in mind when I'm practicing, and then when it came to being on the bandstand, those things would get thrown out the window, and then I would wonder why I sounded bad and wonder why my chops felt like shit the next day. So it's just something to keep in mind. That's such a classic lick that is really hard to play in this key. It's like 5, 6, 7. Oh, I'll play it. Yeah, you know, when you're in the practice room, even if you're practicing soloing, don't be afraid to kind of run stuff over and over again. If there's a certain lick or thing you want to get under your fingers, just do it a couple of times, and you know, you'll find yourself getting more acquainted with it, and it's good practice things to do while practicing. Practice things to do while practicing. Jesus. All right. Oh, another piece of advice, something that I'm constantly reminding myself of, especially when playing fast tempos. You know, you should be supporting the trumpet almost entirely with your left hand. And I know it's possible to play with only your right hand, but if you're holding it with only your left hand, you know, that allows your fingers to move a lot more freely. And I'm constantly reminding myself that, because sometimes you get lazy and then your fingers can't move as fast because you're supporting the weight of the instrument. But, oh shit. Just some food for thought. All right, let's move on to another little background track we can play along with. All right, we got another one queued up. This is one of the menu themes from Sonic Mania, composed by the incredible T. Lopes. Just an incredible composer. He's been doing covers of Sonic music like almost as long as I've been alive. Not quite. I don't want to age him, but it's been a really long time. And yeah, he's incredible. And this is a great vamp to solo over. Have some fun. You know, I'm pretty good at using my ears to hear what notes sound good, but I'm very, very bad at identifying what chords are taking place right now. I know it goes to B flat, I know it's B flat major, and then this, I just kind of play like B flat minor 7 kind of, or B flat minor 6, or I don't really know. I guess this goes up a minor 3rd. Oh, okay, so I think it's just B flat major to D flat major, I think. Woo! That is such a beautiful vamp. Give T. Lopes his flowers, man. This is just so... And for those of you who like are familiar with music from Sonic the Hedgehog, it's like... This is just this completely... It's the most informed... They could not have gotten a better guy to compose the music for this game. Truly, they couldn't. It was impossible. Let's see. You know, one really good way to play melodically, especially over something like this where, you know, the chords, there's only 2 chords. You find the notes that, well, I like to do 2 things. One, you find the notes that are common between the chords. So let's think, we have C, which is the 9 of B flat major, but it's also the major 7 of D flat major. So you can kind of just sit on that. And then the second thing I like to do is find the notes that are not common, the notes that change. And then you can kind of mix in the 2, like you can play the common notes and then make sure when the chord changes to kind of emphasize the one that is different. So for example, A, you can play A, the major 7 of B flat major, that's great, that sounds sexy, but then when it goes to D flat major, you cannot play that note anymore. So you can kind of like take advantage of that and kind of play along with those 2 notes. So let's just take C and then A. And then we'll, instead of playing A when the chord changes to D flat, we'll play A flat. You know, it's a bit of a interesting way to explain that, but you know, hopefully you get from it what you will, and hopefully it helps somebody. But yeah, man, such an epic vamp. Let's see what else we got. All right, the next track we're gonna play with is one I actually play with my band VGM Collective, which if you haven't already, please check us out. We just released an album under the Game Chops label called Live from Palatown. It's good. So let's do the Mario Kart 8 results music. Why not? Very, very, very dank song. A lot of fun to play. Good melody too. Let me turn it up a little bit. burned my lip. Once again, just remember to always remind yourself, like when you're playing, especially if you're having fun, you know, we have a tendency to be in the moment and we forget about a lot of the things we practice to be able to play efficiently and well. So I don't think I'm ever gonna stop reminding myself of that, to be honest. I think as long as I can remind myself every day to just keep my diaphragm tight, take really big breaths, don't use pressure, and always relax, I think I'll be okay. But I don't think there'll ever come a point where that's just gonna become second nature to me, unfortunately. It's always gonna take a conscious reminder, and I'm okay with that, I just have to do it. Let's do one more little rip of this one, then we'll move on. Did not stick the landing on that one, but we're gonna move on, that's alright. Let's see what else we got. Alright, I've had a little bit of time to rest my lips, so I'm gonna do one from probably one of my all-time favorite video game music tracks is Rival Mode from Puyo Puyo Sun. Check this out. It has a very simple melody, so you're not imposing too much by practicing over it. So it goes to B there. We figured it out. still haven't figured out all the chords on that one. I'll have to study that one up and get back to y'all. But yeah, one of the best video game music tracks ever. Practice over, figure out the changes, and yeah. Honestly, I might just end the video here. You know, just wanted to talk a little bit about practicing. It's a very tedious, mundane thing to do, but there are a lot of little ways that we can make it more enjoyable, more fun, and you know, just I think that's important, because when you've been playing for, like me, well over a decade, the shit starts to become pretty mundane and it becomes, you know, a drag or whatever, this and that. But we have to kind of remind ourselves of why we enjoy playing music, the things we're passionate about, and the things we love about music. So it's most likely, actually most definitely not going to be video game music for a lot of you, but just, you know, think about the things you're most passionate about as it pertains to music, and just figure out ways you can work on your instrument, work on your facility, while also engaging with those things that you love and that make you happy and that made you want to pursue music in the first place. So that's all for now. Thank you!